we had children using switches as well. So we were getting kids connected up to switches and getting them scanning. And we wanted to get them progressing with their literacy and their language development. But the problem really was that any software that was around at the time for accessing the computer, it all seemed to have been designed with adults in mind. There wasn't really anything around that was really giving kids access to writing. And I realised that what we really wanted to be able to do was to get some of these children that we had using switches, who would be capable of putting a few words together into a sentence, but couldn't possibly cope with a single letter at a time. I mean, it would take them way too long to do that, and they wouldn't be able to sustain the strength to use the switches for that long. And there really wasn't anything around that wasn't very, very complicated to set up. And so I started sort of formulating this idea. Wouldn't it be great if you could have this program where you'd have a grid of words that would go into that would go into a word processor when you selected them, and they would scan. And but wouldn't it be great if it wasn't complicated to set up that grid? And what's more, that if you could just change the words whenever you wanted, so that the teacher would be able to change them instantly without having to go into some complicated editor. And I started to think about this idea. I thought, this has to be possible to do this. And then I got the opportunity then, because at the time we had 3 young children, and Anne, my wife, was at home. She had a few years off looking after the children when they were young, and she was ready to go back to her teaching job. And so we agreed that we would kind of swap over. So Anne got a job teaching. I finished my job, and I did a lot of work ferrying the children to school and cooking the meals and stuff, which was great. And then, but the majority of my day was then spent programming. And I really got stuck into that. And I say the majority of my day. I also went back to it at sort of 8 o'clock in the evening when the children went to bed, and I'd carry on there until about 2 in the morning. And so I worked incredibly long hours because I loved it. And it's very addictive. Programming is very addictive as well. And so that's how it all got started.
Okay.